Okay, so everybody, we are extremely excited for Maximum Gold is it Dorado? Is that right?
El Dorado.
El Dorado. Thank you. So El Dorado is looking fantastic. There's a massive amount of links that Obelisk Blue and Grunt both were sharing in the Discord today, and we wanted to bring it to you guys. So, first of all, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Obelisk Blue 13. What is your most hypes cards that you're looking forward to here that were revealed?
Okay, so personally speaking, I'm looking forward to Scrap Chimera, because I wanted two copies of that to play in my Pure Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
or Pure Dragon. What am I talking about? A dinosaur deck. I really like Rescue Cat. Like
Yeah.
the alternate artwork's really cute, and it's gonna be good to have an easy running of that. Love Invocation. Think Invocation's a really good card, and it needed a reprint. Um, the Golden Lord alternative artwork is amazing, and of course, Access Code Talker. Besides that, pretty much have everything else I need in the set already. But overall, it's a really good reprint set, and I'm excited to open it some of it, to
Yes,
be
me
honest.
too. Me too. Grunt, how about you? What are the cards you're most hype about?
I mean, I think everyone could agree Access Code is probably one of the biggest additions. Part of me is kind of excited for Verte, if only because I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I got rid of my extras when I did.
Yeah.
Because Verte I think is gonna start dropping, not to be super cheap, but it'll be
Mm-hmm.
cheaper. Let's see here. I think that it's nice that they're reprinting some of the train stuff again because they did reprint Urgent Schedule earlier this year with the Legendary Duelist Season 2 box. Like, I think it was in February, March,
Yeah.
and that card is already like back to $8-9.
Mm-hmm.
The rank 11 Libe that I sent you about that one is like $10 for each printing too. So a lot of the Earth Machine stuff that came from that is going up. So that's good to get a reprint.
Yeah.
Dragon Maid Hospitality. I think anyone who wants to play Dragon Maids and something can relate to how painful it is. So that card was like $40. It's like $30 right now.
It was a
So
Yeah.
soup. It was a super too, which is
Oh,
ridiculous.
just nuts.
yeah, and it was supposedly shorted, and it's like, yeah, no, it's kind of funny that that's what's carrying Mystic Fighters. That and obviously Alan Bershin. I actually am looking forward to Mathmex, if only because I have the entire deck minus the stupid Xyz, so
Mm-hmm.
I'd be all for it. I guess the last thing I'll mention here, just because I mean, why not? Is again, Scrap Chimera is pretty good for anyone out there who wants to play scraps, and Rainbow Neos. I wanted to run Rainbow Neos in a few
Yeah.
decks with Neos Fusion,
Yep.
and that card has been asking for a reprint for quite a while, and I like that we're gonna get one. It's not gonna be golden, unfortunately, but Rainbow Neos being like a $20 common should not be a thing. So
Yes. I completely agree. And some of that's what I keep thinking about when I look at this set. It's a fantastic reprint set. That's all I can think. I had not realized until I started to put decks together for people how expensive just Giant Rex had gotten, because it
uh-huh.
had its one printing. And I mean, it was really up there. And so it's nice to see that that's going to definitely help drive down that price. Anything for the Ancient Gear fans that brings the fusion down. I know it got brought down when I think it was the Legendary Duelist Season 2. Is that right, guys,
Nope.
where that came out?
Season 1 actually,
Oh,
because that came
Season
from
1.
the very first Legendary Duelist pack we got years
Right.
ago. So
And it's nice to see that they're bringing that down. I like that we're going to have more printings of Eldritch the Golden Lord. So I just think that this is a fantastic reprint of a set because everything is just going to get cheaper for people. Even the Dinosaur Xyz monsters, or I should say they're dragon, but they go with dinosaur decks.
yeah.
They were getting expensive. I mean, I remember when these cards were literally just a few bucks, and Dolka
Mhm.
at one point I had looked was up to 10. I mean, it's just ridiculous how expensive that was getting. And so I just feel, especially with the tins that just came out, this kind of support is even better. We know that Tri Brigade is still running around everywhere. Rescue Cat was a ridiculously expensive common. So it's nice to see that kind of nod to the base. And I think this is a very interesting way to go about it with Maximum Gold, because usually these sell for $30 a box. Is that right, gentlemen?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And there's 3 packs in each one.
Or
Oh,
4
4.
packs.
Okay, 4 packs. So I do think this is an interesting way to go about this. Are we anticipating any kind of short prints? Grunt, what are you thinking?
Well, like I said, either Konami purposefully didn't distribute that many boxes on YouTube with access code because they wanted people to be excited when they finally found it. Because I literally found it on some random YouTuber who has maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred subs.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that it wasn't very easy. I think I only saw one video from all the releases today that had it. I heard some people say there was another one or two, but point is, I saw people pulling invocation after invocation, verite after verite, and I never saw access code until finally that one video. So either access code is just, misrepresented here, or it is going to actually be shorted, which, knowing Konami, I would not blame them for that. I just hope it's not that hard to pull compared to everything else, because, as Carlos kindly pointed out, nothing was shorted last year. There were a lot of good reprints to pick up, but nothing was truly shorted. It was just kind of hard to get everything because of how the cards are distributed rarity wise, and how a case of these is only going to get you at most like, trying to think here, 40 of the gold rares. So you're lucky to get a unique set of everything.
Absolutely. Carlos, what do you think? Do you think they'll short print, or do you think it's going to be like last year that nothing will get short printed?
I hope it's like last year, because they showed themselves that you can like make a good gold series without having to short print anything, and like it would sell out really fast. So I'm hoping not. Honestly, I think it might have just been clumping, because I'm pretty sure I saw 2 people pull access code. So like it didn't look like it was shorted.
Oh, that's a good thing.
That's just it's just circumstantial. It's just what, you know what I mean. It's just what videos you watch. Like for instance, I only saw one person pull invocation. So
wow,
it matters. It's kind of like, hey, whatever video you watched is your perception of it, but it might not be the reality. But yeah, I honestly, I kind of have a good feeling, and I really don't think anything's going to be short printed. So we'll hope and pray that is the case.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for that as well. You guys brought up invocation several times. I have been waiting for this just to drop in price, because I don't want to spend $20 to $40 for a card. So I am very hopeful that this will be on the cheaper end. I'm sure it's going to get the gold rarity, is what I'm anticipating. Guys, which cards do we think will be the gold rarity? Obelisk, I'll come back to you. Which ones do you
we
think?
already know.
Oh, okay. Which ones are they then?
I could pull it up on Facebook. Someone had it clicked on Facebook, but I know Invocation, Extrav.
Yep, Invocation, Extrav, Mystic Mine, Chimera, the both the Eld Elixir, or the Cursed Eld Land, and the Black Awakening, Gamma, Plasma's alternative art, and I assume regular Plasma as well. Rescue Cat, Prank Kid's Place, Invocation, like he said. The Golden Lord, alternative art, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, Soul Leading Overraptor.
Oh, those are gonna look beautiful.
Danger Bigfoot and Danger Bigfoot alternative art, new Red Eyes alt art,
Black Rose Dragon alt art.
Yep, Access Code, Verte, Black Rose Dragon, the new Numerons, Mechaba. So pretty much a bulk of like what you'd expect.
Can we talk about these Numeron cards? I don't know these. Are they from the show?
Yes, they're from the show. It's literally the giant monster that the bad guy summons that anime bullcrap beats. That's literally what they are.
So
I hate to say that, but
how hard are these going to be to summon? Are they difficult? Is it very doable?
so the
They're
one
incredibly
card
impossible to summon.
So the one card I didn't even mention, I think it's called like Numeron Ritual or something, or Numeron Summoning. The point is, there's one spell that I didn't bring up, and that's because it's literally just the condition to summon Numeronius here. Numeronius, that's the funny thing. He's not treated as Numeron, which I think there's actually a reason for that. I think it's so you can't summon him with some effects. The point is, Numeronius doesn't even get his 10,000 attack unless you summon him with the effect of that spell. I think it's like Chaos number 1. So if you want to bring that up, it's
Chaos number 1.
yeah. So it's like the number one. One of the gates ranks up into a Chaos form for free, and it does burn damage. If your opponent destroys it by a card effect, you fulfill the requirements to summon the original Numeronius here,
I
the one that
can't
looks like
seem
an
to pull it
angel.
off. So you said it's a ritual monster or a ritual spell?
You would just do C1
Oh,
or number
C1.
C1.
Okay. Nope, nothing coming up. That's weird. Very interesting. But yeah, so it's a very interesting card, and I thought this is one I don't know. Which anime was this from, though, guys? Which series?
Zexal.
Zexal. See, and that's the one I'm least familiar with. Okay,
This is the
so
one. This is the one they finished with Zexal. All I remember is that Numeronius literally has the effect to nuke the board at the end of the battle phase. It's able to bring back something from your opponent's graveyard. It has 10,000 attack, 1,000
jeez.
defense when summoned with the spell, and when it's destroyed, it brings out Numeronius Numeronia, which is the abomination next to it,
Mm-hmm.
which is literally just a giant
Oh,
floating
it
orb
gains 100,000 attack and defense. Oh my god.
during your opponent's turn only, and it forces your opponent to attack it.
Oh
But
my goodness.
and it's funny, but here's the thing is that unlike the anime, they're not immune to effects. They can be kaiju'd, they can be popped, they can be banished. It's literally just, hey guys, we're gonna import these, but we're gonna neuter them. So I'm not complaining. I wouldn't like this to be a consistent strategy. It's just that unlike other fun decks, it's very easy to out it. So
Mm-hmm.
eh.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the win con is your opponent either rams it and they die because of 100,000 defense, or they essentially, if they don't attack, Numeronia is able to just give you the win. It's cool, it's cute, I guess, but it's just it ain't gonna work in Numeron. You're
Yeah.
gonna run Numeron calling is only gonna be used for what it's been used for. These guys are just neat little cards to collect.
Yeah. Oh, and I agree. I think they're neat cards. I didn't read this one close enough to know the 100,000 attack and defense. But for a
Yeah.
collector standpoint, I think there's going to be some definite people who are going to pick these up just to have them part of their collection. So I'm happy to see that. Carlos, do you think this is a set that people should buy quite a bit of, or should they just go for the singles? What's your opinion?
It depends. If there's a lot of stuff you need in it, I mean, buy it because it's a really good set. But like me, where I have a lot of the stuff and I only need a couple more things, I'll probably buy some, but I'll go mostly singles. But it just depends on your situation. I think it's a good set though, and if you don't have a lot of this stuff, it's a good way to
It
Mm-hmm.
collect some
depends.
really relevant cards.
I was just going to add real quick. It definitely does depend on what you need. I know there are people out there who are probably just thinking, I don't care about this. I've got this card. I've got this card. All I care about is the access code. Honestly, if the access code is what you're going after, if it's 30 or less, you're probably just better off, picking up the
Oh,
single
absolutely. Yeah.
versus
Then
buying a box. I don't see
hunting.
anything being too expensive, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I agree with that, guys. Because for example, if you don't have Gamma, you wanna maybe look at this, or if you don't have Mystic Mine, Pot of Extravagance, or maybe you don't have the dinosaur stuff or the Rescue Cats. If there's a lot, especially in the extra deck that you're looking for, then it might be better just to go ahead and get some of the boxes and just have the fun of opening the packs for the thrill of it. But if not, I would definitely go the singles route. And Me personally, I always like to wait and see what is short printed in case there is a short print. I always think that's interesting as I start to figure out the ratios based on what people are telling. I'm like, okay, this is probably the time to buy this. So we'll see, and hopefully, like Carlos was saying, that it is not short printed. You guys had mentioned the alternate art, so I do want to go into that here a little bit. So Grunt was kind enough to put these together for us. Okay, and what do we think here of the Black Rose Dragon? What do you think, Grunt? Do you like it?
I like it quite a bit. It kind of mirrors the Stardust altar. You can kind of see the tuning
Mm-hmm.
rings behind it, and yeah, honestly, it's kind of what I expected. I didn't expect maybe an angled picture, but I kind of expected this, where it's kind of like Stardust. Just a different pose.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too crazy.
Carlos, you're thinking?
Um, I think it's decent. I like the original art better.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things where the art had to be amazing to blow me away, because the original Black Rose art is just so good and
Yeah.
iconic that like it needed to be really good art, and this one's just kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Question
not
mark.
bad.
It's not bad. It's just okay.
Okay.
I
I'll
think
Okay.
some
I'll
of the I think some of the
be
other alternate arts in the set are much better
I'll
though.
be honest. If I have one criticism, I just like the positioning of the original art, and this one, it's like, oh, look at Black Rose Dragon, look at its chicken legs. I'm not complaining. I don't know. I like it, and I mean, Carlos and I were talking about the ghost looks good. Nothing looks wrong with the original art, so
Yeah.
the alt art can't
Yeah,
really beat it.
the original ones is literally great, and it really you would have had to do a lot to up that, but it doesn't.
Well,
Like for
and
instance, I think the IP alt art is amazing, and I think it's so much better than the original.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then I also think the Nightmare Unicorn artwork is like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like what were they thinking? That is like amazing.
Yeah, that looks way better without a doubt. Yes, yes, I agree. And I now that I look at this, Grunt, I'm gonna think chicken legs every time I look at that card. So
Yeah, sorry, I put the. Wait, look at it. It's literally like you see the legs in the original art, but they're like curled up, and you see this one just laid out here. It just. How does the dragon use its legs? It looks like it's too heavy. I don't know.
Well, too funny. Looking at the next one here, Danger Bigfoot, I thought looked interesting. I
I
thought,
love it.
oh wow,
It's a
this,
Yeti.
yeah, I thought that was
because
interesting.
Yetis are essentially just Bigfoot, but like snow Bigfoot.
Yes.
And so they're essentially acknowledging that link to like Yetis and Bigfoot without like having to say anything, and it's really freaking awesome. And I love the background, how it's like super snowy. This when I saw this alternative art, I was like, oh my god, this is great. And then the Eldritch one, man,
Oh, I
the
know.
Eldritch one is amazing.
Yes, it
It
looks
looks
so
like
good, everybody.
he looks like he gives absolutely zero craps. He's like just sitting down with his legs crossed, watching a combo player combo off. And he's like, "Yes, continue your combo. I'll just send for cost and send it to the
Yeah.
graveyard." It's like amazing.
Well, the funny thing too about the alt art is that I remember when Konami released that concept art for Eldritch, and people were like, "Why the hell did you guys put so much detail into his boots? We can't see his boots." And you see his art now, and it's like, "Yep,
Yeah.
they're the boots."
Yeah, it does look
He's
good.
got the Eldritch obviously has been to a fashion. He's obviously been to a fashion school or something because he's got those like high heel go-go's or something, and like you could tell he's like slaying, like because he must be really big into fashion.
Yeah, I like how gaudy it looks because it's a golden lord. He's supposed to look gaudy. He's supposed to look like this, and I don't know. I like Eldritch. I like that I have the original art from Eldritch's reprint last year, but I'll definitely pick up a set of this, especially now that I can get my cursed Eldlands back that I got rid of months
Oh,
ago
I
in
am so
preparation for.
excited to finally be able to play this deck. I have been waiting for the Cursed Eldland reprint, and in
I,
El Dorado here we get it, and I could not be
I
more
also like
pleased.
I also like how the whole deck is in gold rare now. So if you want,
Mm-hmm.
you can literally play it in gold. You can have the Eldritch deck in all secret rare and all gold rare as well, which I appreciate. And I actually have like I actually have the whole deck as secret, and I have like part of it, a different one in partial gold. So
Uh-huh.
now I'll be able to complete the gold one. And man, I really love it. So I'm looking forward to
While
this alternative art.
Me too.
I was gonna say, while we're on this page, I'm gonna bring this up. The most annoying thing I saw today was the Exodia reveal because I don't I don't get why Konami does this, especially with Exodia head, but every time they print an Exodia card like this, it's always just the head or it's just a few limbs. And, like, what's the point of printing a golden Exodia if not all 5 pieces are gold? I know it
Yeah.
sounds stupid and redundant. It's weird to me. It's almost like if they were to do the Lost Art promotion and they just decided not to do Exodia's legs for some reason.
Yep. Doesn't this
I
already
just don't
have a
get it.
gold rare printing though?
I don't know if Exodia already does. I know that I don't think any of the limbs do.
I could have
Because I
sworn at
remember
one
looking
point there
through
was a
Lynn.
gold
I think
printing.
it does have a gold printing in one of the old.
Yeah, but it's the
in one of the
old
old ones.
gold. Me personally,
Exactly.
I like the new gold way more than I do the old. I think these look absolutely fantastic in the new printing that they decided to go with. But Grunt, I agree with you. If they're going to give us the head, give us the pieces. I mean, you should print all of it.
I will eat my words. So, and granted, this is not a set that I ever collected. This was kind of before I came back to the game. They did print an entire gold set of Exodia back in Return of the Bling, which was where we got our Queen Tiramisu reprint. Downer
Yeah.
Magician got a gold reprint that's like $30 now. I think that's probably the biggest loss in these packs, by the way, depending on what we get in the Legends pack, is that they didn't reprint Downer Magician, but
Absolutely. And I'm gonna see if this is confirmed. But guys, Card of Demise is, I'm being told, is also confirmed for this set.
I
No.
didn't
That
hear
just came
anything
from Fusion
about.
Yugioh. That's why I was wondering.
No.
I don't.
Not this set, at least.
It hasn't been confirmed. I thought we knew like the full
Oh,
set
it's a
list.
joke.
Like,
Never mind. Okay.
I was gonna say
For a
they
minute, I
must
was like,
reprint
that
Card
would
of
be more
Demise.
interesting
House
news if that
One.
was the case. But yes, but I do like this art. Now, speaking of some other art here, we do have the Red Eyes Dragon one. We've got the Familiar Possessed, and then we've got the Plasma art. I don't know. I mean, I think these are good, but the art for me is the Eldritch the Golden Lord. Like Carlos is saying, literally, he looks like an absolute boss here that does not care what's happening. I absolutely love it. Like, go ahead and build your field. I can work around that.
Oh no, you know what he is? You know what he is? He's like, oh, you got your Eldritch reprints last year thinking the deck would be cheap? Well, you had to wait for round 2, didn't you?
I'm telling you, this I don't know. These other reprints I just don't think are as strong as the Eldritch one. Carlos, your thoughts? In terms of alternate art.
Okay. So they're not as strong, but I think the alternate arts are just like pretty cool. Like the Lina was in like an OCG product, so they needed to import it somewhere. So this is where they chose. Honestly, really weird choice on the OCG's part. So blame the OCG for that. Don't blame the TCG. The Red Eyes artwork is honestly super awesome, and I love it. I was honestly thinking that they put this maybe as a prismatic rare in the Brothers of Legend.
That would have looked pretty cool. Yeah.
And the plasma, my goodness, I love the plasma. Like this is another case where they absolutely killed it because plasma is like an iconic card.
Oh,
but
very
they
for sure.
reimagined it to look like really awesome. And the fact that we have all this really cool Destiny Hero support like coming out, and it's a really awesome time to play Destiny Heroes.
Absolutely. So I think it's a home run for Konami. I really do. I just think this is exactly what you're wanting if you're a casual fan, if you're a serious competitor, or if you're a collector fan. I mean, I really feel they hit all three markets. And so I imagine that this product is going to sell very well. Grunt, your feelings on that?
I think it'll sell well, and that's kind of my one argument here regarding a whole access code thing. I could see access code being kind of expensive, but at the same time, if so many people are ripping open products to get him, Invocation, and everything else, the market should see some saturation. And I'm
Hmm.
kind of thinking, like, again, I'm not saying it's going to be dirt cheap. I don't think access code's going to be less than $10, $15, but I also don't think he's going to be more than 30, 40 at the absolute most, just
Hmm.
because if gold sets have shown us anything, unless they're short printing, usually on release they're fine, and then it takes a year or two for them to pick up traction. Like the old gold set, everything was pretty cheap, like week one to week two, and
Yeah.
it's taken a year for things to really creep up.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a really good point there. That as long as they don't short print, I don't imagine this being too expensive.
Hmm.
I think in the first gold set, the most expensive card was the Infinite Impermanence and the Ash Blossom, which were around 20, but they didn't really exceed that. So I was really pleased when I saw that Access Code Talker was in here because I'm thinking $20 for a card like this, that is much more reasonable to me. I could really see myself making that kind of investment. Carlos,
Yeah.
what are you thinking? Are you thinking that this did hit all those key markets that Konami's looking for?
Yeah, I think it's a really good set, and I think it's going to sell really well. Honestly, I mean, I have no complaints. Like, it's it's like part of me thinks like last year's was slightly better because there was more variety of really good cards,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the top end this year is probably more heavy, like the extravagance, the access code talker. Like I
Yes.
think we have more big money cards than last year, but we had like more money cards
Mm-hmm.
last year, if that makes sense.
Yes. Oh,
Like
that absolutely makes
higher
sense.
end
Yes.
value cards this year, but more like diversity last year. So I think this one will do better like initially, but the I think the last year's will do better over time.
Yes, I would agree with
Yeah.
that. And the reason I would say that is, like you're saying, there are big money cards this year. Last year, when I think of the big money cards, I think of the Infinite Impermanence because lots of players wanted another reprinting to help try and drive down the cost. The Eldritch was a big one. People really wanted to see that get a reprinting because, at one point that card was what, Carlos, 70, $80?
Plenty.
It was even more. Like
Oh,
Eldritch was like 100 before the reprint, and then people stopped playing the deck, and then it dropped to like 60, and then but
yeah.
yeah, Eldritch is at a really weird really weird curve on the money. When it first came out, it was like super expensive, and then
Mm-hmm.
it dropped down to 60, but then people started playing it again with Eldritch Synchro, and then it went back up to like 100 and something,
Yeah.
and then with the reprints it dropped to like 30. So it's been all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing too, is that it depends on individual cards and their reprints. I say this because I remember in golden droll unlocks were like
Mm-hmm.
$2, $3 at most.
Yeah.
And if you look now, the alt art droll unlock is going for 10, $12. Ashes, I'm pretty
Wow.
sure, had
I
a
just
low of
Jeez.
I
like
just
7 to
sold
8.
the two for like 12, $14 a piece today. So
Yeah, and they weren't worth that much. I think I had like one or two, and I got my other one for like $3. Ashes, I'm pretty sure were under 10 for a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. They were at eights,
Yeah.
sevens.
Yeah. But then they
Apala
kind of climbed
Usa was
back
4.
up. Yeah.
Apala Usa was like $3 because people already had the secrets from the tins, but now
Yep.
she's like 14. And it again, a lot of cards are just fluctuating. Imperm
Mm-hmm.
is $10 because the recent reprint
Right, with the
killed
structure
value,
deck, yeah. But
but
that
it's
helps a
crazy.
lot of people that that's now more available. I mean, that's a
No,
big, big deal.
I'm just gonna say this. I think it's sad that in Impermanence's life, it has already gone to where it's, probably been reprinted enough times where it'll keep value. And it's still, like, that's the thing. We've seen this card go from top to bottom. Meanwhile, Invocation has been sitting high ever since it started.
Oh, absolutely. It was the most expensive card in the set when it
It's
came out.
still it's still the most expensive card in that set.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $50 card from Fusion Enforcers. The super is going for like 35, 40. The
Jeez.
secret rare, again, you're not gonna find this, and the cheapest it ever got was the super rare, going to like $10, and it's a mess. If this card is shorted somehow again, I think people are gonna legit get mad at Konami because that would be the fifth printing, well, fourth, I guess, because we're only
Mm-hmm.
That
doing the ultimate.
that would be honestly ridiculous at that point.
No. That's the thing. They short invocation. They don't short access code, and access code actually ends up being a $20 card, while invocation is still a 30.
Oh, people would lose their
Invocation.
minds. They would
Invocation is
go.
the card. It's the card that refuses to be budget. I want to see invocation go cheap.
Well, so my next question is looking at the set grunt, are there really any weak cards that should have been left out? And if replaced, what do we replace them with?
Oh, I can name a ton of cards that, not the gold ones. Most of the
Yeah, I
gold
thought the
printings
gold
are
ones were
honestly
really
pretty good.
solid. Mm.
There are some that are duds, in my opinion. Rocket Tracer, Overraptor, and Ulti Conductor are okay. I don't know. Maybe someone wants to throw a pitchfork at me, but I don't think they needed to get a reprint because they're not really in demand. I
Yeah,
mean,
I would have preferred, honestly, if they were gonna reprint it, I would have preferred them to do it in Brothers of Legend and Rarity dump them to
yeah,
Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
man, Secret UTC or Oviraptor or Baby Ceratosaurus
or
would have been really awesome.
Tracer. Hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think would have. I think you save. I think Gold Rare is a divisive rarity, so you save it for the cards that need like reprint, and people won't mind what rarity it is. I think certain cards that like don't really need a reprint, but like are on the border. I would save those for sets that have rarities that people like.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's no concern. Like, am I gonna change out my like ultra rare tracer for the gold rare? Like, no.
No.
Am I gonna trace
Yep.
out my UTC for the gold rare? No. But if they were secrets from brothers, would I have? Heck yeah, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Secret rare is a beautiful rarity.
Yeah.
But like access code talker, like I sold mine, right? But the gold reprint, I don't care if it's gold. I just want to play because it's a good card. So like
Mm-hmm.
it honestly depends on the card, but I think they did a fairly decent job overall with the selection,
Mm-hmm.
bar like one or two.
There's definitely some cards in here that I think are dead weight. I think that the Link Charmers, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they needed I don't think all of them needed a reprint, especially Earth, because Earth just got a reprint in the tins.
Yeah.
Anything that literally just got a reprint in the tins, like Sky Striker, Rose literally got a secret upgrade. She didn't need to take a gold slot. I would have rather.
Ray didn't even need a gold slot, to be fair, either.
No.
I would have preferred, like,
Mm-hmm.
if they were gonna reprint a Sky Striker card, I would have preferred Widow Anchor or Engage, because those are like
Oh,
the
those
money
would have
cards of
looked
Sky Strikers.
beautiful in that. Absolutely.
I understand why they did Numeron Network and Numeron Calling because they were kind of pricey-ish. I don't get why they reprinted numbers 1 through 4. I'm just glad that 1 through 4 aren't eating up gold slots too. Same goes for Microcoder. I don't know why they reprinted Microcoder. It already had a cheap reprint last year in a Toon 4 or Toon Chaos. And I don't know. It's literally just these cards aren't horrible, but there are some cards that are definitely eating up slots they didn't need to. Code Talker Inverted is in here.
Absolutely.
Some of the prank kits, I don't know. It's hard to say because if they didn't reprint
The thing is they were cheap. You know what I mean? Like no one, like the only prank kids card that was like expensive was Place. And I suppose
too.
I suppose, yeah, that one too. I suppose the logic is, hey, if we reprint these prank kids stuff, the other prank kids stuff's gonna go up in price. So just to negate that, we'll just reprint it all. Which, like, I understand where they're coming from in that point of view, but I don't know. Like, there's literally a common Roxy. Like, it did not need a reprint.
Oh, absolutely, yes. There's already cheaper versions of these cards. Yes, completely agree.
I think the set. There are a few cards in here that I could kind of lump together and be like, we didn't need these, and One of them that kind of confused me was the Red Dragon Archfiend support. I don't mind Red Dragon Archfiend. It's just literally they reprinted all the Red Dragon Archfiend synchros except for I think it's called Tyrant Red Dragon Archfiend. And Tyrant is the only one that really needs a printing now because both of its printings are over $10, whereas Bane, Abyss even, which is a good card. Like, none of those really needed a reprint. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend kind of did, but I don't think anyone's even running the card anymore.
Yeah.
The point is, they kind of missed the mark with those because they just got a reprint, I think, in Ghost from the Past. And if not, it was even earlier in Dual Power or something. It's, I don't know. Some of this just doesn't add up, but at the same time, it's not like most of the set is this way. There's going to be a few duds in there to boost value.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And I always expect that with a set that there are going to be some duds, some cards that I'm like, I'm not sure that really fits here. But overall, I do think this is a fantastic product. And for those of you watching, I would highly encourage you check out those singles first, check out the ratios. And if there's a lot you need, go ahead and get yourself several boxes. If not, just buy the singles because I think it's going to be really, really fun. That being said, because I've got you here, Carlos, and we have got to talk about this. We've got confirmation for Ghost of Legends. Ghost from the Past, the second one. We got to talk about this. Okay, so
Jesus, man, I have legitimately I have a wish list milestone for what I want, man. So
I am excited about this. So for those of you who don't know, it says here the second Ghost from the Past set is releasing in April 2022 and is the follow-up to Spring's phenomenon of Ghost from the Past.
I just want to point out my birthday's in April, Chronos.
So are you telling me that you would like for me to get you a box? Is that what you're trying to say?
I wouldn't reject the offer.
Hey guys, just a little heads up. Just because the MSRP says $19.99 does not mean that your locals will not try to sell it for $30.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I think they'll anticipate it being as hot as it was last year, and they're not going to make the same mistake.
Which is ironic that it was hot last year. In my opinion,
it ended up failing. To be honest, most of the ghosters are pretty crap besides Dark Magician, but that's a topic for for a different podcast. Now we're just going to talk about the actual future of
yes.
Because I have part of me is happy, but part of me also dreads it, and it's really weird if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying this because it literally says in the first line, it's got more of everything that made Ghost from the Past a smash hit.
So let's talk about that. So first of all, last year's Ghost from the Past, it was a smash hit in the sense that people were really hyped about it, and so they sold a lot of boxes and they sold out pre-sale, and they were selling at double MSRP. So for Konami, they were making money hand over fist. So good for them. But for the actual consumer, once you actually got the set list, and it was the biggest reprint was evenly matched, and that was taken out of a structure deck. Man, people were not happy, and and then to top that off, the set was literally called Ghost from the Past, so people were thinking they were gonna get a chance to pull a ghoster, but psych, those things were super freaking hard, and when you did pull a ghoster, you pulled multiple because of the incredibly terrible clumping, and it was honestly a product that had so much potential.
Yep.
And the execution just wasn't right.
Absolutely.
It didn't have enough good reprints. The ghost rares were a little bit questionable. We needed a Blackluster Soldier Link reprint, and you gave it to us as a freaking ghost rare. Mind you, the card was $100. The ghost rare is not gonna make that cheaper. So yeah, it was. Good for collectors rares, good for collectors in some aspects, bad for collectors in others, and just completely bad for the
honestly, on that subject, I am just going to add this real quick. I expect Konami to really drop the soap on this one because they're going to probably going to reprint Blackluster Soldier in the Brothers of Legend set. But here's the thing. we don't need it at this point because I don't know about you, but I think decks are walking away from BLS Link at the moment, and it would be kind of ironic for them to finally give us an affordable reprint after the card loses relevance.
It's just a bit late for that reprint. That's one of the things where Konami holds out so long that they just kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
Yep.
Anyways,
absolutely.
let's talk about Ghost from the Past because I have so many freaking
Yes.
so much to say about the set. So first of all, we're getting Ghosts from the Past, but they're changing some of the stuff about it.
Yes.
So they're adding more Ghost Rares, which frightens the hell out of me because they already had five Ghost Rares. And it's like, come on, man! Like anymore, and it's like if you collect Ghost Rares like I do, that crap is expensive, bro.
Yes, it is.
I got Dark Magician at a good price, and I still paid $400 for it.
Yes, and
now if you want a Dark Magician, you got to pay over $600 on a single Ghost Rare.
Yeah,
and go to 1,000.
Yeah,
it's so freaking expensive. And
well, and that's why I'm hoping that these Ghost Rares are not going to be ones that they've already done. I think that is so important that they pick different cards for these Ghost Rares, or you have to pick alternate art because that's not fair to the collectors.
They could easily do an alternate Dark Magician.
Like I don't want them to print like 5+ Ghost Rares in a set. I think it's kind of stupid and it devalues it.
See, that's interesting. I'm happy about that. That's really interesting.
It adds variety, I guess. I understand your concerns, but
yeah, because I have to pay for that. Like I have to buy every single Ghost Rare. If they come out with 10 Ghost Rares in a set, I'll have to buy all 10, and it's freaking annoying. I'd rather not have to buy 10. I'm hoping when they say, oh, we increased the amount of Ghost Rares, I'm hoping like, oh, it bumped from like 5 to like 6.
Yeah.
No, 8 would be freaking catastrophic.
Oh my god.
5 to 6, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, so this is funny. So I sent this to the guys. I had no idea this is how you felt. This is so funny. But
because don't get me wrong, I love Ghost Rares, and I love that there's a lot new Ghost Rares. Right?
Yeah,
it's my favorite. It's my favorite rarity. I absolutely love it. I just can't financially. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
and like if they're gonna be printing 10 Ghost Rares in a set per year, that's like 20 Ghost Rares in 2 years, 30 Ghost Rares in 3 years. That's a lot of money, man. And
it's interesting you say this. So Nimnim posted something.
That Nimnim post, I don't agree with. I think they should be easier to pull, and I think they should be less. I completely disagree with Nimnim.
He doesn't want them to be piss easy. He wants them to be reasonable.
Yeah, and
I think.
Go ahead.
I think it should be. I think the average ratio for Ghost Rare is totally fine. Like 1 a case. Like okay, like that's the standard Ghost Rare ratios in the core sets, right?
Yeah.
I would prefer that it stays that way in like the legendary duelist sets, but in the sets that like where the product is literally the product is tailored towards selling Ghost Rares, like Ghosts from the Past, like that's the whole thing selling point. I would prefer it's at least 1 a display box or 1 per display case because I think it's ridiculous.
And I agree with this. So this is such an interesting conversation because it's my favorite rarity is the Ghost Rare. I love the way the cards look. And guys, if you can hear Carlos's passion here because he is a true collector. If you want to see how true, check out the video I did where Casey and I came and visited him. Such a fun day. But he truly has an awesome collection and he wants to keep it complete. So he's looking to do that.
Exactly. I don't know how long I can keep it complete if they're dropping 10 Ghost Rares a year. It's just, and that's not even including the legendary duelist because they're gonna drop 1 per legendary duelist. Like I love that they're back, but like they shouldn't be too much. Like I think a good like this is what I've come to in my head. I think that what was the pull rate ratio last year? Was it 1 a case or 1.5?
1 or 1. Oh, that's a good question. Grunt, do you know the answer to that?
I thought it was maybe 1.5. I don't remember because I just
Okay.
knew that after buying a few boxes, I wasn't gonna try anymore.
Yeah, it
So
was
so
it
if
was
it's
high. I remember it being high, if I'm not mistaken.
if it's 1 point if it's one a case and they're doubling it, because that's something we've yet to mention. They're doubling the ratio. So if it was one a case and they're doubling it to two, and they're absolutely guaranteeing every single case you buy has two ghosters, I wouldn't be opposed to six ghosters.
Oh, I
that
see what you're
that
saying.
that seems like a lot. Like, but with three cases, you should be able to get every ghoster, and at that point, it'll be like the most expensive one will be like 200 and something. So it'll still be a lot of money, but it's reasonable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe Dark
If
Magician.
and
if
your
it's gonna be Dark
payoff is
Magician Girl,
huge in the long
If it's Dark
run.
Magician Girl, yes, it would go up there.
I
But
almost 100% sure they're gonna do Dark Magician Girl. They saw like the whole. The set literally sold out on the speculation that Dark Magician Girl might be a ghoster.
you know
There's
what?
no way
I,
they're
I,
gonna.
I have two predictions, and you're free to disagree with them or agree with them. I think they're gonna do. And that's the other thing too. Even with Dark Magician Girl, it's like, what art would they do? But
I think it's gonna be the, well, not the alternative art. I think it's just gonna be the classic original.
yeah, because I was gonna say there's like at least 6, 7 different artworks for her. The point is,
Mm-hmm.
they'll probably do one for her. I think they're gonna do one for the original Blue Eyes too, but maybe an alt art. Honestly,
I don't think so, because because Blue Eyes already has a ghoster, and they literally gave Blue Eyes a ghoster last year with
Yes, they
alternative.
did. Yeah,
So
good
Yeah.
point.
it'd be like beating a horse dead. Like, how many freaking Blue Eyes ghosters are we gonna get,
Hey,
man?
I would like if they made a ghost rare of the Jump promo one.
I think
Oh
Red Eyes.
yes.
I think
Yeah, I know
I
which one
think
you're
Red
talking
Eyes is
about,
more
Grunt.
likely.
I was thinking the same thing.
If they do if they do with I think they should do the anniversary Red Eyes then if they're gonna make it a ghost because that
So
card has sick art.
so let me finish off what I was saying about the ratios, and then I'll talk about like what I want to see as
Go
a
ahead.
ghoster.
Yep.
I prefer six ghost rares with two a case would be amazing. If the pool rate is three a case, if it's three a case, I wouldn't mind like seven ghost rares, but anything above that, I just think it's ridiculous, and they're greedy, like greedy
Wow.
buttholes.
Because you think it's going to be that difficult to pull them. Is that what you're
Well,
thinking?
because they literally said they're doubling the ratio. They didn't say more than doubling. If they said more than
Right.
doubling, I would think like, okay, one a display case. Hell yeah, like we're doing really good. We're gonna be good. But since they said doubling, that's very specific terminology they're using. So I'm going under the impression that it's jumping from 1 or 1.5 to 2 and 3. So like I based mine off of, like I'm basing my guesses off of that, and I hope that I just don't want the ghosters to be expensive.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of what I actually want to see as ghosters, my list is big. I want to see Dark Magician Girl, because that would be absolutely amazing, and that would kill it. I want to see Red Dragon Archfiend, because that's the one signer dragon that doesn't have a ghoster, and it's about time we fix that, because I need the complete signer dragon ghoster collection. Scarlight has a ghoster, cool, but like it's not the original Red Dragon. We need that. Neos would be a cool ghoster. Access Code would be a cool ghost rare. If they wanted to import some of the ghost rares from the OCG over, I wouldn't mind seeing Borreload's Savage Dragon.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one. And actually, if Borrelo Savage was a ghost rare, I'd probably pop hard for it. If they did like an alternative art ghoster, I really wouldn't mind the alternative art Stardust as a ghoster.
Yeah.
Specifically tattooed on me, that would be awesome.
What if they did a ghost rare of Utopia?
I think a Utopia ghost rare would be really nice. I'd pop for it too. I think the XEs look really nice as ghost rares.
I do too. I agree with that.
Honestly, pretty much all the ghost rares look good. It's really hard to mess up that rarity unless you're like. The original ghosters were kind of poopy because they didn't really have any color. They were kind of just black and white and like hard to see. But the ever since like the Black Rose was actually like the first ghoster with color. Ever since Black Rose, like all the ghosters have been pretty good. Besides like Blackwing Dragon. I don't like that one, but all
Yeah,
the other
that
Oh,
ones
one's
maybe.
are
funky. It
amazing.
is. That one is definitely funky out of all the Ghost
It's
Rares.
The whole
it's too
card is funky.
blurry to me.
Mm-hmm.
It
I like the
is.
artwork. I just think the ghosts are so blurry. It's impossible to
Mm-hmm.
read. But like that, man. There's the thing is, there's just so many good choices. Like
Exactly.
you really can't go wrong. And even last year, like some of the choices, I was like really. But like even then, I understood it. Like I understood the BLS link. You know what I mean? You don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
BLS, but you want to have like a BLS akin monster. Firewall, I understood that, even though I didn't agree with it.
Yep.
I would have much preferred the original art, but whatever.
Me too.
Um,
Yeah.
the Crystal Wing one was really awesome. I think that was one of my favorites. Dark Magician was amazing,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And then what was the other one?
Where's
Alternative.
alternative?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Alternative was a good choice too. So,
Yes, I
so
loved seeing Alternative get that nod. That was really nice.
they definitely had some good choices last year. Hopefully, they tighten up the choices, they pick better choices, and they listen to what people were saying. Because by all intents and purposes, like that product description basically, like it seems like they listen to what people are saying. It
Mm-hmm.
seems like they know people were mad that they were hard to pull, and they were
Yeah.
mad that that. You know what I mean? Just yeah. Hopefully, they better reprints, less clumping, and easier
Mm-hmm.
ghost rares to pull, and I think we have a pretty good set.
I agree.
I have three guesses I'd like to throw in.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Grunt.
So, and that's kind of the weird thing with Ghosts too, especially with what we got last year. Because on one hand, you had cards like Crystal Wing, Firewall, cards that actually, had some meta relevance, and obviously Firewall needed the errata, and then we obviously have Alternative in its use. And then you've got Dark Magician, who's more iconic. So I could see them doing some more iconic cards too. I could
I
see them
would,
doing Neos.
yeah, Neos would be a good one if they
Oh yeah,
added the
Neos would be a
God
good one.
cards to.
I was gonna say Obelisk and Slifer to
Mm-hmm.
go with the raw that we had printed
Yep.
last year or the
Yep.
year before, I think.
I also would, because the OCG still prints ghost rares in the core sets. I would like them to start going back and like back tracing like the ghost rares we missed, because I think at shortly after Freak, what set was it? It was like the first. It was like the first. That one set with the Shadals that pretty much changed Duelist Alliance. I think shortly after Duelist Alliance, the OCG started doing different ghosters, and if we could fix that and like start importing over some of the OCG ghosters, like they'd be awesome. Like for instance, like just there's some random cards as ghosters that look really awesome. Like for instance, Nirvana High Paladin has a ghoster. Like it's freaking awesome. Like a pendulum ghoster. Like can we get one of those? That's
It's
awesome.
weird because there are some sets where we did get the right ghost rare because I remember we got Dark Rebellion Xyz as a ghost rare,
Well,
but we didn't get one for Odd Eyes, which was kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
that
were
was
on and off.
that was incredibly stupid to me, because it's like, dude, Odd Eyes is literally it is your main character's boss monster.
Yes.
And it's the cover card of a set. Like, why is it not? Speaking of which, that one would be an amazing ghoster as well.
Don't forget how we got Clear Wing as well. So it's like they didn't do Starving Venom or Odd Eyes, but they did Clear Wing and they did Dark Rebellion, which is kind of an odd half and half.
Exactly. Didn't understand that. We need the other Dimension Dragons. Also, what else was I about to say? Damn, I was about to suggest
there was
something
something I was thinking. Fusion Yugioh brought this in the chat as well. What if they did something like Flaying Wingman? Something. Some of those show iconic cards.
Yeah, that would be.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
I would do Flaying Wingman.
I would pop hard for an Ancient Gear Golem.
It's funny you say that, Carlos. That was the next one I was going to bring up, was Ancient Gear Golem. I thought that would look absolutely beautiful. I do. I think that would look so good. I mean, just think about that in Ghost Rare, how that would pop.
There are just so many good choices, honestly.
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Yubel's iconic. I just don't think it'd make for a really good ghoster. I don't think it's like that iconic for the.
I don't think it would be all three forms. I just think base Yubel is kind of iconic enough. Its art it doesn't have too much going on, so I can see it translating well as a ghost. I don't know. Maybe not in this
personally,
set.
I would just be disappointed with Yubel. I would prefer a different GX icon. Like I'd pop for Neos. Neos would be awesome.
The Ancient Gear Golem would be my personal choice from that era. I just think it would look gorgeous in Ghost Rare. I do.
A card like Relinquish would make a really nice Ghost Rare.
Oh yeah.
If Konami ever wants to do a joke set, I'm all on board for a Ghost Rare Ojama King.
I don't know how I feel about that. Oh gosh.
I want my Ghost Rares to be like iconic and hold some because I collect them. Like I collect them because I love the rarity, but I like them to have like some backstory in the show.
Yeah.
And I know Chaz uses Ojamas, but it's like, is it that iconic? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Fusion Yugioh also brought up, what about Cyber End Dragon? That could be an interesting one too.
Any of the Cyber Dragons as a Ghost Rare would sell. Cyber Dragon Ghost Rare in general
would be cool. Infinity would be cool.
Like, oh my god, imagine a Cyber Dragon Ghost Rare.
I
Like,
know. I'm getting pretty hype over all the possibilities. I love Ghost Rares, guys.
No, make a Ghost. No, you know what'd be funny? Bring it full. Bring it. Round circle. Just bring it round. Just do a Ghost Rare of the Altard, so it's white again.
If they I'd prefer not to see Ghost Rare reprints because like that's just kind of lame. But if there's one card I would not mind a Ghost Rare reprint and an update, it would have to be Rainbow Dragon because Rainbow Dragon has so many colors in it.
Yeah.
But the actual Ghost Rare, because when they first started making it, like the technology just wasn't there, so it's just black and white. But a Rainbow Dragon Ghost Rare done correct, where like you can see all the colors reflecting in the white, like oh my god, that would absolutely be amazing.
It would. It gets me excited.
That's like the only Ghost Rare I'd accept as a reprint, and I'd be happy with.
Grunt, just so you know, Fusion Yugioh is with you all the way. He wants the Ojama King Ghost Rare. Me personally, that's not for me, but he's all on board with you for it.
I'm just saying, not every Ghost Rare has to be the most. I'm just saying this because we have gotten some dud Ghost Rares. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on it, but it's like there are some times where they'll skip Ghost Rares. Like they did that in some sets. Phantom Darkness, we didn't get Ghost Rare Yubel. We got Ghost Rare Rainbow Neos. So.
Well, that's a set I agree with. I don't think Yubel should have been the Ghost Rare.
No, I agree with it too. It's just kind of random because some sets they would do what they were supposed to do, other sets they wouldn't, and then they kind of were on and off with the Pendulum set, which I thought was also kind of weird.
So just some more ideas based on like some of the OCG Ghost Rares. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon has a OCG Ghost Rare. I think that'd be cool.
That would be so nice.
Raigeki as a Ghost Rare is really cool. I'm trying to look through the OCG ones and see which one that we missed. Like the Red Eyes would be good. I know they wouldn't, but like imagine like a
the Blue Eyes Ultimate would look gorgeous.
Like an Ash Blossom
or Raigeki.
If they want to do a Blue Eyes too, they could do Blue Eyes Chaos Max because Chaos Max has a Ghost
Rare. That would be awesome looking.
I'm not saying it's a good card, but imagine if we got Ghost Rare Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. Hey, it's a good looking card.
It is a good looking card. I agree with you.
I mean, I say this because I'm guessing Carlos can agree. Yes, it's nice when a Ghost Rare is competitive, but at the same time, there's nothing
wrong
with
just being
a pretty face.
I doubt anyone's playing these in decks. If you are, you guys are crazy. So, so much money. There's no way.
I do not play my Ghost Rares in decks. I just have them in a set. What I'll do is like if I'm playing against Megan, and like I'm playing like a deck and I managed to summon like the card that would be the Ghost Rare, I would take the Ghost Rare out of the case and I'd put it on the table and I'd be like, bam, I summoned it. Because I technically summoned the monster. I'll replace it with the Ghost Rare for like that turn, but I won't actually keep it in the extra deck because screw that. I'm not chancing it getting damaged. Man.
Nope. I would be protecting that with all I could because you keep your value on these. So. But yeah,
and in a lot of the cases, you actually gain value too. Like first ed Ghost Rares for the longest were the most underrated market ever. Like you could pick up like a first edition for Black Rose Dragon a few years ago for like $60, man. Do you know what I would freaking kill to pick up a first edition Black Rose for like $60? Now it's like $700 for that crap.
Yeah, it's
actually
insane.
More.
Yes. It is really, really high in value. I like Fusion YGO's idea here. So what he's saying is if they went up through the animes, like they started low, then they went to GX, then they went after that to the next era, with synchros, and then they went to Xyz. That would be a very interesting way to build hype each set. So I like the idea. It's a very interesting one. Um, but the possibilities are endless. I mean, there's just so much. And guys, we will definitely return to this
I
at
would
some point.
love.
Sorry, go ahead,
So,
Carlos. What were you gonna say?
so Access Code Talker has a ghost rare in the OCG, and I think that would be a really nice ghost
Oh,
rare. But besides Access Code Talker, like imagine a Zeus, because Zeus has an OCG ghost rare.
oh, what are you doing to me?
That would
Seriously, guys, I love these cards so much. Just the thought of them is like making me like long for it. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that.
Geki has an OCG ghost rare. Like honestly, just some of the ghost rares in the OCG alone. Like if you imported over the OCG ghost rares, I would like lose my mind for, because they'd be freaking awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But guys, that is going to do it for us tonight. Carlos and Grunt, boy, was it a fun discussion. And Grunt, thank you for putting so much of this together. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. It's probably the first set in a while I've been enthusiastic about, because I've got like 4 decks that are like 99% good. The 1% that's missing is the access code.
Yep. I cannot wait. And again, Carlos, man, I share your enthusiasm for these ghost rares, man.
Yeah, I'm. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm excited, but I'm also nervous just because I don't want to spend too much money. Like, if it's a freaking Dark Magician girl and it's like $700+, it's like, man, I don't know if I could do that. But, like, that's why. Like, come on, Konami, please, for the love of God, just make it affordable. Like, make it, if it's like a display case, which there's like 10 display cases in a set. Like, I would absolutely do a display case. That would be amazing.
Yep.
If it's like 2 or 3 case, sure, that's fine. But just make sure every case has a ghost rare, man.
Absolutely.
Like, stop with the clumping. Like, I bought a whole case last year and I didn't pull a ghost rare. The only ghost rare I pulled was from a loose display case from the a card shop next to me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I felt so bad for you, Carlos, when that happened.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
You can't have people spending over $400 on product
and not get something. Yes.
If
Fusion YGO brought up that same part. Just a second,
worse.
Grunt. Just a second.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just Patrick brought this up earlier in the chat that you didn't get your money returned on your investment if you didn't get one in the case. And so that is very frustrating, especially for card shops that put out that investment and then they didn't get anything. So, I mean, that's very difficult to deal with. But go ahead now, Grant. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, unfortunately, clumping has not really improved throughout the year. If anything, I think it's gotten worse, just because I really had issues with pulling diviners from Lightning Overdrive. Now, granted, I don't usually go through core sets like that, and Lightning Overdrive, probably the worst core set I've ever invested in, but point made. The thing is, the tins too at clumping, I think, because I really would have cases where I pull more than a playset of one Ultra, and I would pull none of another Ultra, and it happened enough times with a few cases that I'm just like, personal bias, but it's definitely a little clumped. And King's Court, literally 2 boxes, same exact high rarity things, and at that point, I was just kind of done.
Yeah.
Brent, you honestly have some crap luck, man. If I was you, I wouldn't open boxes.
Yeah, because it's just crazy.
I've had good luck though. Like, I had good luck with the 2019 tins, the 2018 tins. I don't know. I've had good luck since before.
I was gonna say, to be honest, like, I should just make a YouTube channel with all my freaking luck, man. Like, some of the pulls I have are
Carlos,
like,
I'm shocked you don't do this. I mean, I loved when you were doing that with your channel where I got to watch, and I felt like, especially when you got that ultimate number 107, that was hype when that happened on film. I mean, that was really good.
Well, so part of it is, I don't know if we're still live, but part of it is because
we are still live. Yeah.
I've got backed up on because my card broke down, so I had to pay like $2,000 to fix that, and so I'm still paying that off. Thankfully, I'm pretty close to paying it off, but so I just haven't been able to spend as much. Also, I've gotten to collecting JoJo's Bizarre Adventure action figures, and those things are freaking expensive as well. So I basically have two really expensive hobbies, and it's like, man, I need to
get that.
not.
Yeah, JoJo, man, that takes me back because I had the original Dreamcast game. That's a long time ago. Oh my goodness,
I love it.
crazy. But guys, that is going to do it for us, though. It was super fun to talk this hype with all of you, and we look forward to another podcast with you soon. Thanks again for watching.
And go Dark Magician Girl Ghost Rare.